Hello. Well, I'm re-offering this because we had a technical difficulty yesterday. We only got half of our town hall recorded, but I'm going to bring it up and share what we did. So here we go. Well, the convention starts at Unity Village. Beautiful Unity Village. Here's a wonderful perspective. There's fountains, a wonderful water tower, the buildings. It's so beautiful. There's a golf course, there's hiking trails, three lakes. It's so beautiful. And when you arrive, here's the hotel, and it was Deborah Thomas's first time to Unity Village. And I gotta say, it was so exciting to see Unity Village through her eyes. And it was so beautiful. There were flowers everywhere. It was so, oh, they've been doing such wonderful job of deferred maintenance, bringing Unity Village the wonderful, sparkling place that it is. You might consider going there. And so this is the hotel, and we checked in. Linda Gillespie and I have been there many, many times, and we just love Unity Village. So here's another perspective. That long line of the fountains continues on. That's about half of the fountains. That's looking at the administration building. It's so beautiful. The fountains are just wonderful. And here, I love this shot with the water tower in the distance and the education building. And here we have more pictures, the new labyrinth, which is all made out of stone, and the fountains just bring magic to this place. And the flowers were just so wonderful, and so many wonderful, seeing and connecting with ministers, licensed Unity teachers, friends. We all come together in the convention to realize why we do Unity, the wonderful presence of truth. And here we also saw the new R.D. Gopart Event Center. Now, this has been completely renovated. It's so beautiful inside. Now, this is the former activity center. I've always considered it the Unity Cathedral because of those beautiful arches. And inside that lobby, we have a dove etched on glass that I'm told was just created. And they're going to send a copy for us to see. And when I go there, I'm going to take a picture of it, and I'll share it when I come back. So we walked around, and we saw lots of people, and this is Myrtle Fillmore's rose garden, so beautiful. It was just in bloom, and the weather was perfect. It was just a magical day. And we also visited one of my most favorite places at Unity Village, the Peace Chapel. That it says "Peace be still" on the front wall. And these are the stained glass windows in there. And they're just 6 seats. And the front left seat, I'm told, is the one that Myrtle Fillmore used to love to sit and pray in. And wouldn't you know, I've been going to the Peace Chapel since the first time I came to Unity Village. I love to wake up in the morning and go and do my prayer and meditation right there. And I've always gravitated to the front left seat, Myrtle's chair. I just love that. And then it culminates by attending the graduation of ministers, licensed Unity ministers, ordained Unity ministers, the licensed Unity teachers, and all the certifications. We have an international Unity movement, and many of those international people are achieving these wonderful ordinations and certificates. So it's right here in the Fillmore Chapel. This is in the Silent Unity building. And I had the opportunity to film Leslie Woods. Many of you know Leslie Woods, and here she is getting ordained.
Graduate, Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, MSIM, and will be a minister. Leslie Woods. In and through the indwelling Christ, and on behalf of Unity Worldwide Ministries, I ordain you a Unity minister.
I gotta tell you that attending graduation is so valuable to me. I've been on the credentialing team for 4 years, and I get to do progress interviews with the candidates. And so 90% of all the people who graduated on this day, I've had something to do in their process and see their wonderful growth through the program. And my heart was just so full with that. And it's like, oh, so exciting. I just love graduation. And this is the beginning of the convention. This year, the theme was Leadership Intelligence, Leading with Insight and Innovation, June 16th through 19th at Overland Park. It was so well attended. There were 350 people there, and we had our booth there with our Helping Hands banners with a QR code, and people got to scan that and receive the materials of our Helping Hands program to help them in their ministries. It's so beautiful, and it's wonderful. So at convention, there's these vendors. We eat meals together. There's a big ballroom where there's uh, workshops that we all attend. Reverend Jim Rosemurgy gave a wonderful workshop on stepping into leadership, and we had a Ayurvedic uh, session where we got to see how we could do better self-care for ourselves as people in unity. And also we had the wonderful presence of all attendees and a wonderful presentation on reimagining unity. Now, at the beginning of this year, at the annual summit, it was first explored the idea of Unity World Headquarters and Unity Worldwide Ministries to combine and be one. Now, this has been tried at least 5 times before without success. Now, there was no separation. The early 1960s, we were all one. And then in about 1964, they created the Association of Unity Churches. The Associated Unity Churches was created to take care of all the field churches, all of us out here. And right after they did that, the people right there at Unity said, I don't think this was a good idea to separate us. It's doubling our marketing programs, it's doubling our janitorial service, it's doubling so many expenses. And why did we do this? Well, they didn't do anything about it. And about 5 years into it, some people came forward and said, this has got to stop. Unity is all one. Let's be together. And there wasn't enough momentum. Unity Worldwide Ministries had built or bought and moved into a large office building in Lee Summit, and they were functioning in that space for decades doing what they do. Now, at the annual summit, a couple of members of the Unity Worldwide Ministries Board met with a couple members of the Unity World Headquarters Board to be part of a steering team of what would it look like if we reimagined and created one unity, where everything would be built up under the one unity. It's a big vision. And what they've been doing is every 6 to 8 weeks, they've had a town hall meeting to share their progress of how it's coming together. And here at this convention, they had one morning a workshop sharing this is where we are right now. This is what we envision. And the vision is this, that Unity World Headquarters is actually the DBA for the only thing that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore ever incorporated, Unity School of Practical Christianity. DBA, Unity World Headquarters. Now, Charles also was able to get an amazing carte blanche nonprofit status for Unity that is intricately tied to all of us in Unity. And if Unity World Headquarters or Unity School of Practical Christianity were to dissolve, we would lose that amazing tax-exempt status. So, the goal is to bring Unity Worldwide Ministries under that heading and then name ourselves Unity. So it would be the Association of Unity Churches would dissolve under Unity World Headquarters, Unity School of Practical Christianity, and be called Unity. And so the school, all the education is done by Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, would just move and be housed under Unity and continue to do what it's doing. And all of the facilities, the maintenance, the publishing, the serving the ministries in the field when there's transitions, employment, getting new ministers for churches, and credentialing leaders in the movement would all happen under the one heading Unity. There would be a change because Unity World Headquarters is an appointed board. Unity Worldwide Ministries was established as a membership organization, and all changes happen by vote of the membership of all the churches in the field. So there's a change in what we will be after that, and what they're settling on is rather than being members, will be referred to as partners. And in that, there would be the way for us to contribute what's happening in Unity as partners in Unity. So I think this is a wonderful thing to do, and it's also very exciting what's currently happening in our education program. They have been spending the past 2 years developing new curriculum to change the curriculum, much like how Charles and Myrtle Fillmore taught these principles, for the student to demonstrate what they're learning. So it's going to be an interactive learning model where each student in every class will demonstrate their knowledge of the material. So this is changing how ministers are trained, how licensed Unity teachers are trained.
And Deborah Thomas is in this first wave in this new curriculum for licensed Unity teachers, where she's part of a whole cohort, and she's just started her first 2 classes. So it's very exciting. So let's backtrack. In January, every year there's an annual summit, a unit sort of mid-year between conventions. There's a summit, and they always choose a topic for the summit. And what happened this year is now for the 5th time, the idea of let's make unity one. Not Unity World Headquarters, Unity Worldwide Ministries, not separate, but let's all be under one hat. And so members of the Unity Worldwide Ministries Board and members of the Unity World Headquarters Board came together with a steering team to investigate what could it look like if we join together. Now, this has happened before. Actually, it was all one in the early 1960s. In about 1964, 65, maybe 66, they established the Association of Unity Churches, which now is Unity Worldwide Ministries. And the Association of Unity Churches was created to serve all the ministries in the field. Not even after the dust had settled, they had known that this was a mistake. Because unity itself is made up of all the ministries. Why do we need to separate ourselves and we'll do this over here and you just do what you're doing over there? But they didn't do anything about it. And then 5 years after, so the end of the 1960s, someone said, this is really ridiculous. We should be all one. This doesn't make sense. Let's fast forward to now. So these boards, because the president of the board of Unity Worldwide Ministries, Valerie Mansfield, met with the president, Ken Daigle, of Unity World Headquarters, and said, does this appeal to you? Are you willing to do the work? Can we do this together to envision coming together as one? This has never happened before. They've got a team of lawyers working because Unity World Headquarters is a appointed board. Unity Worldwide Ministries is a membership organization. The members are voting and vote for the board. Unity World Headquarters is a DBA for Unity School of Practical Christianity, which is the organization that Myrtle and Charles, the only organization they incorporated. So that's the original organization. And Charles Fillmore, in his infinite wisdom, when the IRS was just getting started, went to the IRS and asked for a tax exemption for Unity and got an amazing carte blanche, full protected nonprofit status for Unity. And every church that wants their 501c3 can do it under that umbrella, can do it under that. So that's not something we want to lose. So that means Unity World Headquarters, or Unity School of Practical Christianity, has to remain intact. So if we're going to be one, we need to be folded under that umbrella. Make sense with me? So the best way the lawyers describe it is that essentially Unity World Headquarters has to acquire, has to buy, because the legal stuff of mergers and how organizations merge is there's an acquisition. But it's a friendly acquisition. It's what we are all wanting to do. So the movement is to Currently, we are each members of Unity Worldwide Ministries. This will move under the auspices of Unity World Headquarters, and what they're going to rename themselves, can you guess? Unity. So we'll all come under the one name, Unity. And then, rather than being members, we'll be partners. That's the terminology they're looking at. Now, there's still, it's amazing. They're doing town halls about every 6 to 8 weeks. And they did a town hall at the end of April that was, I mean, if this was a cake, the mixings were still in the mixing bowl, and they hadn't added everything. It was still very early. At convention, they presented where they were right then, and my goodness, they had come a long way. Like it was poured into the pan. And so, what's true? Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, which is the training entity. It's the one that trains ministers, licensed Unity teachers, all the spiritual education enrichment curriculums comes out of. That will just move under Unity unchanged. It's working, it's going through changes already right now. It doesn't need to change anything. It'll just continue doing what it does. And basically, under this umbrella of Unity, the people who are in charge of the facility of Unity Village, which is a incorporated city, the hotel and the grounds and the event center and the buildings and all that stuff, they're just going to continue to do that part, the maintenance and Silent Unity that has 24 hours a day prayer associates that are now positioned all over. So when you call Silent Unity, you may not be connected to Silent Unity in Kansas City. You might be in Omaha or Los Angeles or England or wherever. Or Nigeria. We are an international organization. So the very exciting thing for this is it's gone from an idea of maybe we can do this to we're doing this. This is going to happen. And so what they're doing is we're going to have our business meeting, which is a virtual event. This will be on the agenda for us as the members to basically vote us out of being members into being partners and going all under one. But it's going to be our choice. And I'm all for it. I really think this is a step towards where we need to be. It positions us in a position of we're better together than we are separate. And it's very fortunate that it was about 10 years ago that Unity Worldwide Ministries moved their work staff to Unity Village, moved into Unity Village, so housed at Unity Village. They had a large, beautiful office building in Lee Summit, which they've since sold. So we're all in the same place. We're all at Unity Village, and it's about time. Do you have anything you want to add to it?
No, other than it is time. I have history with everything that he's told you about, except not until the early 90s. But in my experience, I have been watching this transformation take place over time. And last year at convention, it came up for a vote for licensed Unity teachers to be independent of a ministry and still be able to vote their own conviction. I don't remember the number of times that has come up for a vote and it passed. And it passed. And I still am trying to figure out how that feels, how that really feels. It feels great for me, but it also comes with a great deal of responsibility. You talked a lot about responsibility and authenticity, and that's what it's all about. And before, my vote was tied to what the ministry that I was serving told me how to vote. I don't have that anymore. Interestingly enough, I am in complete agreement with everything that they're doing. And it is about time. I don't know how many, Gary said over 5 different times this has come up, and it's never passed. And we did a straw vote type thing at the convention, and it passed unanimously. But of course, that was just to get a feel for the field, to see what we really wanted to do. And so this help me with my words, the meeting in November.
No, the business meeting.
The business meeting, that's it. We will vote, and each church will have 4 votes, is that correct?
I have to check on it, but at least for 4 delegate votes.
Right, 4 delegate votes, right. And so for me, it's exciting. I am so excited. It was really silly for me when I was doing my work to become a licensed Unity teacher. I spent a week at the village every summer. It was wonderful. Took 5 classes in a week. And then I came home and learned what I was supposed to learn in that week. And it was such a joyous experience for me. And then came the skills demonstration seminar, where we had to go and show that we knew how to do what the things they said we needed to do, and take, I don't know, all kinds of tests and a psychological evaluation. And instead of going to the village, we went to Unity Worldwide headquarters in Lee Summit. And I was going, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why are they over there and all the education is taking place at the village? I never understood that. I still don't understand that. But fortunately, as Gary said, it's all under that one, or all on that one piece of land that is glorious. But the more we can do to bring what Charles Fillmore knew needed to be the name for this, was unity. And that's the whole purpose of this, is coming together in unity and exemplifying that for the world.
No problem.
Well, the one thing that really, that I liked a lot is they said they want to do a bottom-up approach instead of a top-down. And that really impressed me. That, and I kind of like us being called partners instead of members. Yeah, kind of puts us on the same level with everybody else. And they said that there are a lot of things they know. This will be in the long run, a money-saving thing because there's lots of duplication of effort between the two entities. And now they can streamline that and, get it to where it's all done under one roof.
Does anyone have any questions?
There's the town hall if they can attend it.
Yes. So there's a town hall. The next town hall is July 16th. And if you go to the unityworldwideministries.org website, you can request to attend the town hall. Yes.
Yeah, I do have a question. I recall your history at the late 60s, the split was made.
Early 60s. It was between 64 and 66. I don't have the exact date, but.
Now, the 60 years that's entailed in between then, we've been with two separate entities.
That's correct.
We've survived it with the two separate entities. We functioned with the two separate entities. Now we're going to come back as one. So my question is twofold. As a church, how is this going to benefit my church? And number two, as an individual of this community, myself, how am I being benefited?
Good question. Did everyone hear the question? Owen says no. So how does this combining of Unity Worldwide Ministries, World headquarters under one benefit my church and me individually? Yes? Well, unity is there for our benefit. Unity World Headquarters provides all the literature, all these wonderful pamphlets, the silent unity, the prayer service, and a place that we can call 24/7 to get affirmative prayer. Or it can be done through the app and text. Or you can send them a letter and they'll send you a letter. Or it's email and you can get an emailed prayer. So all of those benefit us, and those are unchanged by them coming together. Right now, Unity Worldwide Ministries provides education and credentialing of anyone in Unity. Unity Worldwide Ministries provides transition support when a minister leaves, people to come in and hold services until another minister can come in. Or if there's crisis, they provide crisis support, peacemaking skills. Unity Worldwide Ministries also provides a foundational enlightened leadership, methods and policies, a template for bylaws, for policies and procedures, and different ways to handle if you have a disruptive personality in your church and how to deal with it. And all of those services and those items that are provided do not change by them coming together in one. And another piece that's in this is Unity is divided up in regions. We're in the Unity South Central region, and they're seeing that regions will be more empowered to be the conduit for that support and providing and channeling those services from Unity. Then they're powerful and helpful and work with Unity Worldwide Ministries already, but under Unity, they're seeing that regions will be empowered by even more. And that's us. That's our field ministries. So really, the benefit is when we tithe, we'll tithe one check to Unity, and that support, all the things that we get supported by will still come to us, but when they receive our tithe, that will be more efficiently spent to run Unity, because there won't be 2 janitor staffs, there won't be 2 marketing people, there won't be 2 different webmasters, or it'll all be more efficient. Because if you're maintaining a big old house over here and serving from there, and you're maintaining a big old house over here and serving, doesn't it make sense to bring them both together and drop the expenses of running 2 houses? That's the benefit I would see. Any other questions? Yes, John.
Unless I misunderstood, you're saying that at the beginning there was one section here, one section here, one was tax exempt, was the other not tax exempt?
Uh,
I don't know the Unity World Headquarters is.
Unity World Headquarters is tax exempt where it can be. The bookstore selling product, they have to pay tax on that because it's not tax exempt. Where it can be. So ministry is still tax exempt. Silent Unity still tax exempt.
Publications that are, if they sell books and publications in the bookstore that are Unity created, it's what the question to ask is, does this help us with our mission? And so books and that are in the bookstore, that's how we did it here. If they're published by Unity and it's the Unity message, then they're tax free. If they're not, like when they sell little bracelets and all that kind of stuff, that's not considered tax free. T-shirts.
Any other questions? Yes, Joan.
It was decided when we were headquarters that we didn't be called a church. And I was wondering where that status is. I heard reference to it as church 3 times already today. So is that no longer something we don't mention?
Joan's asking, several years ago, they moved from identifying as church, removing church from the names. The history of that is religious science, a different church tradition, but we're cousins, and Unity both shared the expense of paying an outside firm to research spirituality and religion in society. And the finding that came back is that using the word church in your name will turn off more people than it will bring. That church is a loaded word and should be removed from our branding. So at the same time, we decided to brand the Unity, like what's in the top corner there, that Unity with the pineapple or soccer ball or whatever's dotting the I with the name underneath it. So that's the branded logo, so that if we all have the same logo and we all start our name with Unity, that there begins to be recognition. There's power in branding. If I do this, what is that? McDonald's. You can do that to a 2-year-old and they know what McDonald's is. That's branding. That's the power of using the same thing no matter what. And what came through that, religious science decided they were separated. They had Religious Science International, United Religious Science, the two different religious science. They all came together as one and unilaterally changed their name to Center for Spiritual Living. Everyone had to change. You couldn't keep religious science in your name, period. Center for Spiritual Living. Unity chose to have it optional. You could change your name, you could take the branding, it was free, but we're not going to tell you have to do it. You could just do it. Now, most churches in Unity have changed their name and abided by the precept that church won't be in the name. It'll be Unity, the logo of New Braunfels or Corpus Christi or Detroit or whatever. And there's no restriction on us calling ourselves a church. You'll hear me call what we are as a community a church because that's who we are. But on our name out in front, it doesn't say church. But I did add on our sign a community of practical Christianity because we align as practical Christians. That's what the founders were. That's what they espouse in this movement, is to preach like Jesus, to heal like Jesus, to live the truth that we know is true. Because and if we know the truth will make us free.
But we believe in the validity of all religions. Yes.
So that's where how that went through the movement, and that's unchanged. So as we move forward, it won't be Unity Churches, but remember, it's Unity Association of Unity Churches, and that got removed and became Unity Worldwide Ministries without churches in it, and that'll remain. Yes.
It would be nice if next year that a lot of our members from New Braunfels would attend the convention. And I was just thinking that, from a information perspective, maybe like next spring or whenever the information is available, you could share like what the workshops are going to be, and and then people besides that, they're interested in, well, what's it going to cost me? And so you'd have to provide like general airfare costs for the convention itself, hotel stays, just whatever the out-of-pocket cost for a member would be. And I'm just saying, that needs to be coordinated, whenever in the springtime next year in order to promote it all.
So what John's saying is, because I suggest maybe nice if we all went to convention next year, which it's actually not next year, it'll be the year after, it'll be 2027, because next year, Kansas City is hosting the World Cup in June. There's not a single hotel in Kansas City that's available at all. Or anywhere. They had looked at the possibility of doing the convention in St. Louis, and it was exorbitantly expensive, and so they just decided next year there won't be a convention. But the following year, 2027, we'll have a convention. And I think it's a great idea, John. We'll put the practical expense, airfare, what the convention costs, the time, and then let people decide if that's something worthwhile and put forward the theme and what the workshops, and we can do that. That would be very lovely. Because it really is a great place to enrich your spiritual journey. Yes, Roxana?
Alternating, because like you mentioned in San Antonio, I thought it was like 1 year somewhere and then back to Unity, but was that just for a short time?
It happened that way for quite a few years, but San Antonio was the last one that they did a convention in another city. And the reason is this. When they did a convention in another city, about half the people showed up than when it was at Unity Village. So they decided the summit will be done at different cities, but the convention will always be in Kansas City. Usually it's in Overland Park because there's some big convention hotels there, and it's close to Unity Village. So that's why. Yes. Yeah, it was very expensive. Any other questions? Well, thank you for joining us today. And as we go forward, if there is anything that's significant, certainly before we do that November business meeting, we'll share what's happened with this organization and what they've decided and how they've decided to put it together so that you're informed of where we're going to be voting and what's happening.
And that town hall. And the town hall that Gary just mentioned that I had pulled up on my phone is also, it will be very informative if you can attend that. It's from 2 to 4 on the 16th of July. So
also, you can go to the website, and all of the previous town halls on this issue are recorded, and you can watch them. Very important. And they at convention they had a presentation of this, and there were tons of questions. And what about this? And what? Because have you ever noticed that when there's change, people get all excited? It's just amazing. But I'm very excited about it, and thank you for joining us today.